All right, guys, it's 8:35, and as I said, we are starting immediately so that we'll be able to cover up everything that we need to learn today. So by tomorrow will just be like questions, more arrangements, getting to know your partner and everything. Mr. Joshua is on the call already, and hope we had a good day. Hope you rested. It's weekend and hope you rested. So yeah, we're starting off immediately, and the call is already on record for those that will be joining us later to go through it. So over to you, Mr. Joshua, and let's have a beautiful learning ride. Bye, guys.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Blessing. Please, can you confirm me if you can hear me? Give me everyone.
Loud and clear from my end.
Awesome. Can I get a feedback from one of Mr. Enoch, Fredo, Sunday,
We can hear you clearly.
anybody? Awesome, awesome. It's raining here, so I was bothered about the network. Right. So yesterday, good evening again. Good evening once again, everyone. Yesterday we were able to establish the fact that of the sequence of a lot of things. I won't go to that again because we have the videos and we have a long way to go today, right? So this is where we stopped yesterday. So I'm not going to rush through this part. I know that many of us will think that all of this theory, why do the students need it? But please, when we are handling the sections, it's important that these foundations are laid very well because they are as important as the practical aspect as well, right? So one of the things now that we're going to see is the act of prompting, right? And it's just a framework that we want to communicate to the kids on how best to prompt. Many of them are just used to just
Sorry, I can't hear you from my end.
writing to a generative AI. It's important to always give it context and define a set of things. So this is just like a simple framework which is relatable to students. You can adapt your own examples to it. It's called the role context task format, as it were. So you define the role that you want the AI to take, basically the context in which you need that information, and then the task, right? So this is where a lot of people sit, where they just sit on the task and say, create a quiz about colonial history. It will just create a random quiz, right? But the moment you tell it to say, yeah, is acting as a history teacher or a Nigerian history teacher, if you are at, like, the more specific you are with prompting, the more and better refined results that you get. So if you are telling him to act as this history Nigerian teacher with the context teaching SS2 students, what you are telling it basically is it should know the curriculum or the understanding that SS2 students should have and should not have, right? And then you give it the format of the output that you want. Is it a multiple choice? Is it an essay that you want? And all. So that's it, an example of a good prompt. So in this section, the goal is to engage with the student, basically um, get feedback from the students on an example of a question that they normally would use, sent to the AI, and then just question and answer. This does not have anything to do with using the computer. Then refine the prompt together through your mouth, as it were, right? And you know that, okay, this is a good prompt, this is not a good prompt, right? So this is also just a part to further emphasize the backgrounds that we've laid yesterday. Best way to use AI, analyze data, evaluate on a deeper level, something that you are working on, use it to create, right? And this is the sections that we're going through in the next couple of minutes. And one of the reasons why AI is very good at creation is because it has been trained on a lot of outputs or data, as it were, that helps you to create. So the barrier to be able to create stuff, to be able to build apps, to be able to create games, to be able to create videos that you normally would not be able to do, or you will need a lot of technical expertise to do, is reduced right now. However, when you are still creating, you still need to remember from yesterday, we said that what humans are good at is creativity, judgment, right? So when you are still creating with AI, you still need all of those things and use it as though you are partnering with the AI to create an output and a desired thing that you have in mind, right? So the background final steps of the theory part is just explaining the evolution of work and how every evolution or human evolution progressed through history, internet, and now we're in the age of intelligence, right? So this is just a checklist of just telling the students different roles that are now created by AI, and you can just read it out. You don't have to spend a lot of time on this. It's just for them to have a visual knowledge of, oh, these are things that they probably wouldn't know, right? So you can see ethics specialist, AI product manager, AI engineer, AI business analyst. You can add to the list in your own research too when you're preparing your own slide, right? So now back to practicals. So I'm just going to run through this. So after the end of the class, before tomorrow, or in the group, because I'm sure that many of us probably didn't prepare for that. We'll run through this. I'll share the slides. You go through it and then try it out yourself, and then we can share feedback on the group because it's the time for it to be an hands-on section. I'm not too sure how that will be. So a lot of us, or probably all of us, know Canva. That's the first tool that we are going to be using for the practicals for the kids, right? Remember when I started yesterday, I said it's important that when you get to the school, please have your Canva loaded and all of those things set up, the things that you need, right? So what I'm handing over to you is all already easy for you to do. What we just need from you is to communicate this well to the kids, right? We don't just want you to dump the knowledge on them, help them to get to a place of understanding, right? Which is what I'm hoping to achieve with you as well. So if you have any questions, please, this is very important. Let's pay attention now. Right. So on Canva, when you log into Canva, you see this dashboard now, the design page. As many of us know, a lot of Canva is a major design tool, right? And one of the advantages of Canva is friendly for beginners or people that don't have technical experience, even when it comes to design. So on Canva, you see a lot of templates that business owners can use. And also the way Canva is designed is they also use it for training of kids in education, right? Which is why we are using it basically. So today you see that on this part now, there is Canva AI. So this is the part that you want to select on. If you're on your system, you can just follow along or just pay attention to what I'm saying first and try later. Yeah, so the steps are already here. Click on Canva AI, then select Canva code. So basically, the goal of this section is for them to build a game, right? And that's what we have here, to build a game. And the reason why we're choosing a game first is many of them use games, and probably they've always wondered if they can actually do something like this, or what it means to be able to do something like this, right? And one of the most relatable games that all of them play is X and O, or they have played at one point in time. X and O is what we call it, but it's called tic-tac-toe, globally, right? So before even doing anything about the game, you see the class task here is to communicate to the students, ask them if they understand what X and O is or tic-tac-toe. Ask them how do they think it works? Like how do they play it in real time when they are playing it? What are the rules of the game? Right? So after getting all those feedback, you can now say, okay, once we try and build this with Canva AI and refine it to a desired output. I hope we're all following me. So the prompt that you see here now is a prompt that you can copy and use, but I don't want you to just copy and use this prompt because it will produce a result, right? I want you to pay attention to some of the details in this prompt. Because by the time you're asking them, the common thing they will say is Canva X and O is a 3x3 row versus column grid. Yeah, one person is X, one person is O. So this is going to be an engaging section, and it will also take time as well. So you want to be careful about not eating too much into the time that you would have to use for others. Hold on, please, chat. Okay, for other things that you probably want to do, right? So like I said, display. So this is a prompt that you can copy and paste. But when you read through the prompt, you see that the design and branding that is here was the one that I added, and I intentionally emphasized it here because you can switch this to any style, right? So you can tell the prompts to not use a hand-drawn style, as it were. And I want you to get that feedback from the student. I want us to get back feedback from the student. What style do they want? What color do they want the X and O game to be? So let them pick a color so that they are included in this prompt. So I don't want you to just copy the prompt, paste it in the chatbot, and then tell the chatbot to go explain what is going on. So you are telling them that the display 3 and 3 is from what they said, the rules of the game. Remember that from the act of prompting that we started earlier, we said always define the context. Don't assume that the AI you are telling understand the rules of the game. The moment you do, it will produce something, but it will mean that you probably have more bugs. And by bugs, I mean mistakes that the result that you will get on version 1 might be rather. So when you define it earlier on, it already gets the context. And if you now need to refine it further, you are not doing a whole lot of refinement. And remember, we don't have too much time with these kids as well. So this is the framework I want us to follow. But the framework, I want us to explain it very well to the kids. Help to explain to the kids that, okay, this is the rule of the game. And this is us defining who the winner is. This is us defining what happens when someone wins, right? So, for example, if you want to change the winning route or what happens when someone wins, you can say that after the win message, display player X is a winner, or it might not even be player X now, as it were. You can say the name of player X is someone in the class. You can do all of that in the prompt and then change the name of player O, even though the game is still X and O, right? And then the design and branding, you can change it to use a red background and playful element around it and all of those things. So what I used here was basically hand-drawn style, and then we're going to see the result of that in the next screen. You see that now. So you see that it's basically, let me zoom in. So for some of us, the output basically followed the input that I gave it, right? Take back to player S versus player 1, and then we start a new game. And if I publish this, I could share the link with us. If you play the game, it plays like X and O, right? So imagine the how much their face will light up now that they've done something that someone they themselves can say, okay, I did this, right? But it is important that they include their own self, what they want it to look like in the game, in the prompt, because that's what will make it look like. That is what it means that, okay, the result that the AI produced genuinely came from them, right? So, for example, now, after the first prompt, you will not get the desired results. So one of the things that you will do in the section is to now ask them what other things do they want to change. So, for example, when I did this, when I was doing mine, it was not updating it didn't add the name of the players, right? As it were, I think so. So any feedback that you see, you can now go back to the prompt and then do that together again with them. Okay, we want to change the color. Okay, add a playful badge somewhere beside it. They can do all of that, but don't spend too much time on that as well, just for them to see. And then when you are done, you'll see publish on Canva at the top, right? So you click on publish. Then if it tell you to put a domain name, so you can just put the name of their school, dot X and O, and then you now publish. Then that link can be shared on their phones. They can see it, they should take it home and show their parents that this is what they did and all, right? So the goal of the game is to be an interactive section for them to see how prompt engineering and re-editing works and how usable what they created can be. emphasize on how they can also create a mini website with the same process, although we'll still touch a website creation too, and then other ideas that they might also have. So the goal is to paint a picture that you can build this. You can also build little fun things that you want to build, probably something that you can learn in school, simulations. You can build a game around photosynthesis, and it would just build a simulation of how photosynthesis works in real time, right? So the goal of this, all of this, is to paint to them that these are really use cases that they can use it to do in what they already do as a student, and also to develop their creative skills as well. Any question on that before I move on? Sorry, because I know that this might seem. Any question on that? Sorry, are we in the class? Did we all follow? Blessing, was I clear also?
Yeah, we are following.
No questions so far, correct?
Yes, so far no question from my
Awesome.
end.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the feedback, sir. All right. So the next tool that we're looking at now is website with Lovable. I was informed that Blessing already told you guys to try Lovable out. Lovable is an amazing tool. So the goal of website with Lovable is for them to create something Lovable as well. So for many of you guys that already have a Lovable account, I would just advise, if you have another email, this is not part of what you are teaching, but if you have another email, refer yourself, quote and unquote, you will see what is it called? A link that you can share to someone. Or it might not necessarily be yourself, it can be to someone. So you can have referral credits, and then they will give you like 10 credits for each referral. So you can just have enough credits to play with during the section with the kids. If you refer more than 10 people, they won't give you credits again. If you just putting that out, right? So when you navigate to Lovable, create an account, all of those things, they don't need to. You can just tell them the name of the site. SS2, SS3 people already know what it means to create an account with Google, right? So all of these intricacies are not really important, right? It's just for them to know that this is step-by-step process of that. And then when you now go to, so like I said, they want to create an account, a website for their school, basically. So this is a easy framework that we want to use across all schools, because many of you are going through our school and there's no time for you to be following like details. So this is just the framework that you are going to be using, right? Build a responsive school website, the name of their school, their location. So you can ask them to tell you the details. So you can probably call, it's best to call like one kid out, right? And then ask one of the other children as you are moderating to be saying it, and then the kid is typing. If that will not take too much time, you can be typing. That will definitely be good. You can be typing, and then ask them what's the color of their school, and then another color, then what's the motto of their school, and then what theme, right? So all of these prompts, you will refine it based on the school that you are going. But it just helps you so that you have something to work with in each of the schools. And then what you are basically saying with the pages is you are telling the AI, these are the pages you want to see. So for some schools, you might want to remove the pages. You can just keep it to 3 pages and the contact page, right? So, and then requirements, clean navigation, consistent school of readable fonts and footer. So you can also add a little bit of other details there as well. Like when you after you get the first output, for example, right? The first output, you can tell them, okay, we want to change the second section in the website. Then you prompt the AI, you let them see how that works and how specific that, okay, when you see a mistake somewhere, you can also go back to that. So please, I'm begging you, please play around this. There's no time for me to be going to Lovable right now and be sharing screen and be doing all of that, because I know that many of us at least have access to phones and systems. So play around this. Some difficulties that you might experience, have the difficulty before you go to the class, so that when you get to the class, you won't now start looking like, okay, what do I do? Right? So if you have a difficulty, you can ask the question and then we can answer together on the group. Very important. I think that's that. I think the only other one I wanted to just do a hands-on one was videos with Flow. So like give me a moment to just set up that, because this one requires me to show intricately go back up. Okay, let me just run through that while I'm loading the page down. Okay. All right. So remember that we came from games, then we went to website. So now what we're trying to do is the practical on image and videos, right? So they can actually see how that works too. So I'm picking a tool that you can use to do both intentionally. So you won't have to use two tools. It's important that you can let them know that there are a lot of tools out there as well that you can use for this. Virtually every generative AI tool can generate an image, right? But not all of them can do videos. So just a moment, please. Okay. Okay. So like the slide that I have already says you go to Google, find Flow with Google, you create an account. It's an experimental Google product from Google, by the way, but it's accessible to everyone. So when you get there, you see create a new project. We're going to see that in a bit. I'm already opening it up. I couldn't open it up before the class, so I apologize for that. My God. Pardon me, please, just a minute. I think it's my network. Okay, okay, good to go now. Awesome. Okay, so let me just run through the slides, then we'll practicalize it together. So you go to create a project, and then this is the framework for writing an image prompt. Remember that when we were talking about question and answer prompts with ChatGPT, there's a framework for it. It's not the same thing when you are dealing with an image prompt. I know that many of us will probably want to say, create an image that shows this, this, and that, but you are talking like a human. But if you imagine if you were giving your assistant or you hired a secretary to want to do something for you, how would you give it instructions? Right? So that's what prompting should do. If you would give a human being set of instructions that do this in this manner, and this is how I want you to do it, it's helpful for you and the output that you're trying to create to detail that out for a generative AI tool. So we're going to see here that when you are writing an image prompt, you define what you want in the picture, which is where a lot of people stop, right? So you define what you want, add an action. So if you say what you want, I want a copper. That is the image I want to generate an image of a copper. But the moment you go a step further and say, what do you want it to be doing? Okay, I want the copper to be stopping a car down. right? That's a level of detail. I want the copper to be stopping a car down. So you choose a setting because it's an image. When you think of images, when you think of graphics, there's always a setting. So where is this happening? Okay, I want a copper to be waving a car down in the streets of Lagos State, Nigeria, with a lot of traffic going on, right? And then you can decide the style. Okay, realistic, or is a bright day, bright sunny day, or is a rainy day, as it were, and then add additional details. So this is not important, quote and unquote, but the additional details you now add now are the things that now, differentiate someone that use the basic prompt and then someone that has this additional details. So you can now, additional details might mean what kind of camera lighting you want. If you don't know about cameras, you might not know that, but a helpful tool I can just give us right now is every time you want to generate a prompt and you want it to be very detailed, when you use this framework, you can take the prompt to ChatGPT and tell it to help you generate a more detailed prompt. This is just for us, not the class, right? And then it will create a very long prompt. And when you use that prompt, it will now create a more realistic result for you, as it were. So when you use this framework, picking the subjects, adding an action, choosing a setting, deciding the style, it reduces the errors or the things that probably that's not what you visualized when you wanted to create the image. Because before you say you want to create an image, it means that you have a picture in your head that you're trying to paint, at least, right? So when you tell the AI that, okay, this is the picture that I'm trying to paint in my head, create this for me, define all of these things using this framework. And the goal is to communicate to the kids that this is the framework for creating an image prompt. The framework is different from a text prompt, which is raw context, task, and output, right? For this one, it is subject, action, setting, and style. Additional details is really just by the way, depending on what you're trying to do, right? So, for example, the example that I did, so I just showed different examples of a good image prompt. A group of Nigerian students reading books together inside a bright room classroom in Lagos, cartoon style with colorful uniforms and posters on the wall. You'll see that this encompasses all the framework that I just said earlier. These are not image with Flow by Google. So I'm just going to copy, sorry. I'm not going to copy this prompt so we can all see. Although it will take time, it will take some seconds to generate, but that's all I'm from this. I want to copy the prompt, so okay. Let me switch the tab that I'm sharing. Sorry, did my screen just stop sharing now?
Yes, stop sharing.
Yes,
It just stopped sharing
yes.
now. I've been not since.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes,
just
Okay. I just wanted to be sure. So confirm if you can see my new screen now.
Yeah, we can.
Nano
Yes, we
Banana
can
has
see
arrived.
it.
Is that what you see on your
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm just going to click create a new project. So at this point, I've done all the setting up that I need to set up, right? And then now this is the interface. So you see videos, you see images, right? So this is powered by the model Nano Banana. That's their image generation model from Google. A lot of image generation models are out there. But what we want to do first is images before we now do videos. So when you arrive on this, it will automatically go to video. So you want to navigate back to images, and then you see this drop down here. You see different things ingredients to video, frame to video, text to video, right? But what you want to use first is create images. So I'm just going to paste that prompt. An adult male student, I can add now female students, female university students is standing up in a class responding to. So this prompt is what I just put in the slide that we can use because it paints a very good picture. Responding to questions from so one of the why you see me adding adults is because one of the constraints that uh, Google Google has is that, sorry, hold on, let me copy another prompt so I can use that one for the first example. So I was trying to explain something about the adults is if you want to turn an image to video, which is the next example we'll go, if you upload an image with kids, Google will now allow you to animate that image. Do you understand? So that's why you will see in that prompt, I'm using adult female and then not kids as
Please,
it
I'm
were.
sorry. I
So
don't
this
get
one
this
is,
point. Please, can
we're
you
not
please
turning
recap?
this image that we want to generate into a video. You didn't get what I said?
Yeah. The part of Google turning it into animation, like, doesn't work. Please, can you
Okay,
please recap?
you understand me in a bit. Just follow. First of all, let's focus on this one. I'm using a simpler prompt, which was picked from the example of the slide. A group of Nigerian students reading together inside a bright Lagos cartoon style. If we don't want cartoon style, we can say realistic style with colorful uniform, posters on AI. I'm just adding to it now on AI with AI written on it, with AI written on it. Mood of the day should be raining, uh, cool. Use eye camera lighting that shows the classroom settings well. Maybe a more interesting camera lighting, I can say use a 1960 style. Use a camera film style as though it was shot in the 1980s. Right. So you see now that it's generating, and so it creates two options, right? So let's see what the outputs would be in a second. Okay, what's going on? Okay. Okay. The same setting was not really followed, but you get the idea now. You can see the prompt here again. It said a group of Nigerian students reading books side by side in a bright classroom together, right? So if I want to further reprompt it now, I can edit the prompt and create another image. So once I've created this image now, I can decide to download the image, right? So I download. So you want the students to create at least a couple of images from different prompts. Use context of their school environment, use context of Lagos, use context of Nigeria, right? And settings that they can relate with. So let them define the settings. Okay, someone that is standing in an airport, or someone that is standing on the road, or someone that, let them just define that depending, and then create something that is actually meaningful as well, right? Is this clear to everyone? I think it should be. There's really not much um, technicality. So you download now. So then now, if you want to do videos, so for example, if the image you created is the one that you want to turn into a video, you navigate back to videos and then click. There is text to video. Text to video means you don't have any resource. You are the one that you're just saying you want to create a video, right? I can use the same prompt that I used earlier and say you should turn it into a video, text to video, for example, right? And then it will just create a little scene. This is not a very detailed video prompt, right? And video generation takes more time, so I don't want to waste that time on that particular prompt. So I'll go back to my slides and then show us the prompt from yeah, from the that I used for that. So for example, now this is the one for the image that is in the slides that I did, right? You see the output here. A male secondary school student standing up, responding to a female NYSC copper. That's the one that is in the slides. So, and then for the email, for the video, you see now that for the video now, you follow the same framework, but the framework is a bit different. Sorry, is that for me or that was a mistake? Okay, I assume that's a mistake. So now for the video, I already showed us that if it was text to video, you can type a text and say this is the video that you want to watch. There's a framework for video as well, which is what's the character, which is similar to the image creation. What's the character? And then now I think the helpful thing about using Flow is you can add a voice straight up. Before you would have to create the video, then you go and do lip syncing with another AI video to add voice to it. But with Google Flow, you can add a voice like the script. So you want to put the script of what you want the person to be saying in the video. So I'm zooming in so you can see the character, the script, what should the person say, the voice, and then possible gestures that you want to be happening in the video. So because if you don't put gestures, the AI will just assume based on whatever you have defined and use any gesture as it were. So, and then the outputs for the video. So I'm just going to copy, I think this was what I used. Just a moment. Okay. I think this was what I used. Yeah, this is what I used. Then I think I already have the image on my laptop, so I'm not going to fix that. So the difference between text to video is when you use text, frame to video is you have a picture, right? And then you want to animate that picture. So this is me clarifying what I was trying to say earlier. So for example, from this prompt now, you'll see me specifying adult me. What I was trying to say is Google will not allow you animate any video that has kids in it, at least for this version that they have, and which is just like a privacy policy. So you want to specify adult and or you can use it for image generation, but if you want to turn the image to video, Google will not allow you turn it to video if they read the image and see that there are kids in it, which is why I used so I'm using frames to video. Ingredients to video means you have a couple of pictures that you're trying to turn into one video. That's what ingredients to video means. So for this example, we're using frame to video. So I would click on this plus and upload a frame. I agree. And by frame, I mean an image. an image, right? So just a moment to find. Yeah, this is an image. Okay. So crop and save. Google will read that particular image, right? If there are kids in the image, it will tell you, sorry, we do not allow anything. So for example, if you have another image to add now, you can add another image as well. But for this example, I'm just going to use one image and then I'll copy my prompt from here. So because I already have the image, I'm just going to be prompting the AI to say that the student that is standing in the video, right, is what I want animated. Then this is what it's saying. This is the voice as well. And then these are the gestures like I already detailed earlier. So then it's going to create an output like it's doing already now, right? And for the sake of let's just, I think it's helpful that we all see what it provides. Because I already downloaded the outputs that it gave me earlier. Um, right, so these are the three important practical sections that we need to take the kids through. So for the sake of God, again, please do this yourself first, right? Learn from it, make mistakes with it. So when you are in front of the kids, you are talking from a place of confidence. Like Blessing had said, these are things that you can start using in your own day-to-day creative workflow as well. People literally make money with this. So now this is the video. Our video is ready. I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear the voice, but did we all see that? Let me download and drop on the WhatsApp group. I'm not sure. So this let me just zoom in. So definitely, of course, because you are not using the paid version, there's a difference between what you see here and someone that is using the paid version. For example, the how clear the face is and all of those things, right? So yeah, let me drop the video on WhatsApp group. Ooh, glory to God. Syntax here. Okay, so any questions so far? That's really what we have to do today, right? Okay, the video is still downloading, but I think I have the video from this version. Yeah. Questions, please. Questions, please. Feedback. Do we understand? How do we understand what we're saying? Please. That's how we're sure that we followed along. Ejo in Yoruba. Feedback. Or you want us to just assume? No. Feedback. And we're also expecting your own slides as well, right? So I'm looking for the video. Listen, your people are not talking.
I guess that shows that you're a good teacher then. Okay, someone
No,
has
no, that's not the sign of a good teacher. That's not my
someone
experience
has
with
it
teaching
up
at
now.
all. We like feedbacks. We teachers
Please
like
go ahead,
feedbacks. Okay,
please.
please go
Someone's
ahead,
hand is
please.
you can go ahead.
All right, all
Please
right.
ask a question.
evening. Good evening. Joshua, I think.
Yes, yes,
Adisa.
Joshua. Yes, Joshua Adisa. You are not wrong at all.
All right, all right. The class was very insightful. It was great, and yeah, I learned a lot. Yeah, but the thing is, I would like to ask: is there a chance we could get this your slides, like to just use as
Yes,
a?
I will drop the link in I will drop the link in the group for sure after this class.
All right then. Yeah. So far, I've been enjoying it, and it's great. So yeah, just kudos to
Okay,
you.
thank you. So the important thing is we need you guys to practicalize, share your output, especially with this video thing, right? Stay around it, share your results in the group, right? And then when you use be careful with Lovable because your lovable credits can finish. So if you use up your credits, try and refer someone else to or your friend so you can get extra credits. So on that day, you will now see that you don't have credits to use to generate prompts on Lovable. Canva, for the sake of what you are going to be teaching the kids, there is enough, I think, prompt. Canva doesn't use a lot of credits, basically, right? Even on the free plan. But yeah, that's
Okay. My sorry, I have a question.
yeah, yes, please go ahead, please go ask a question.
Yeah. So yes, taking us back to the credit. Is there a way that we can aside referral? Is there a way aside referral that we can get the credit?
Yeah, you will pay now. They are a company for profits company, you can pay for the paid version if that's within your budget, right? It's not too expensive. So $15, $20 per month. Abigail is asking, can we use other presentation tools for the slide? Yeah, you can. If it is Microsoft that you want to use, yes, please. But I just think Canva is a great presentation tool, but feel free, copy from, I'll share my own presentation slide, but if that's what you're more convenient with, some of you are probably designers here, you can use Figma for your presentation. The point is what you are convenient with that you can use to present, right? And you can use to carry the children along in the journey. And then you share, you have to submit your presentation. Your team has to submit the presentation so we can review and have the confidence that, okay, team Abigail is ready to go, right? That's, I think I was trying to, so for example, for this video creation, you can create multiple scenes right now. I think you can create at least 15 seconds video by just doing frame by frame. So imagine if you were trying to shoot a movie, what different things would you want to do? Or like a short 1 minute movie. So that's how really it comes together with using a tool like Flow, right? So I'm going to stop presenting now and just hand over to Blessing. I'll share my link, my presentation slide on the group and the video that I generated. Thank you so much once again. My name is Adisa Joshua. In case you see me on the road, looking forward to seeing you guys on the demo day, as many of you that will be coming. Thank you for contributing your efforts to ThinkTech and the success of ThinkTech once again. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Joshua. I mentioned it earlier to you that you're a good teacher. You don't want to believe me. Anyway, I want to say that at this point, I'm so excited this training like went well, and we are adults. For us, it's easier to understand because we interact with AI tools every day. And so in conclusion of everything, you're going out there to make the students understand three things, right? And one of it is that they should really understand what AI is and how it is not more important than their brain. It is not, which is the first thing he taught yesterday. Second, you should now show them the possibilities of AI, which is the demo we had today. And lastly, you're telling them or you're showing them the career paths they can explore in AI. These are a set of people that are soon to leave the secondary school system. They'll start choosing courses and everything. So we need them to understand that, hey, you want to be a customer care representative. That's what you want to be. Just know that AI is taking that role. So these are alternative, or this is how you should adopt AI to improve. You want to be a doctor, you want to be a farmer, whatever. So yeah, that being said, so everything you produced, like I don't know how to say, everything you and your students worked together for is very, very important for documentation. So I would advise you create the game. You could name it with their school, right? Publish the game. You create the website. And the goal should be just to create a website for the school, right? Create like a website for the school. Let the students in give you many things about their school. Create a website, publish it, send us the link as well. Another thing is the video. Since the tool we are using does not allow kids videos to be animated, right? You can create adult ones and animate those ones and still go ahead to create a normal kids video, maybe of them or give description of them and everything, and just have that as a video. All these things is very, very important for what I said in the very first day, which is our onboarding, that we are not putting on the lights in the candlestick and hiding it. So everything we are building, or everything we build, we are putting it out there so that if, as I said, cleantech is not ending as this. It's going to revolve to something else. And if you still want to be part of us, maybe as a staff, maybe as whatever, you would have to leverage. We have to leverage what we just started at the root here. So that being said, there's another thing I would add, maybe because I love music. Did I really like music? Well, let's see. I would want us to add Sonia AI as our practical. Sonia AI is the one we used to create that this thing I created that time, and it's just with prompt. And if possible, you can use it to create the audio singing their school anthem. Ask them what their school anthem is. They'll sing it to you. You write it, and you have that create and have them listen to it. You can tell them to talk. Maybe you can create a song about their principal. Maybe they like their principal or something. So they can tell you more about the person, and you put the prompt and prompt create, or their best teacher, or maybe what they like about their school. Just a song to amplify the school and whatever like around them. So it's all up to you. This choice is all up to you. So we'll be working this night to do the pairing based on the people that filled the form that we let out, and early by tomorrow, right, you should know who your pair is and know your school, so that you guys will start working on your slides immediately. Remember, you work on your slide, you download it, and you send it to us. We look at it. If there's something we need to impute, we need to tell you good to go, because you really understood what has been taught. So the 4 practicals to be shown to the student is the game creation with Canva, the website creation, creating website for their school with Sonia, with Lovable AI, the song, which could be their school anthem, about their principal, about their best teacher, about what they love about their school, whatever best known to you, you're the one to like bring that up. And lastly, the video with flow, the images with flow, and all that. Thank you so much for staying to the end. As I said, I respect people's time a lot, and I wouldn't want us to go past the time. See, if you have any question, at all, drop it in the group. Why I would say drop it in the group is we answer the question, and every other person that might have this question or may not have it now, but like it may come up, would have to learn from that answer as well. So please, if you have any question, drop it in the group, and go ahead to like give you a very, very good answer, right? So the slide he used, the link, he will drop it in the group. chat as well. This recording, I would upload it to YouTube and share the link. If you were not here yesterday, please go back and listen to the teaching yesterday. It is not up to an hour, right? This is all to help you. And if you feel like you missed some aspects, go back. If you join in late here, please, as I upload it, go back so that you would be on the same page and know what you're doing. So that being said, I want to mention that for our cost of transportation to any schools that have been assigned to us, when you're that will be reimbursed back to you at the end, like when you're done. So we are looking if feeding could come in now, but we've not confirmed that. If that come in, I will let us know as well. And you know that before you go, you'd have to pick up some things from us, which is like the survey forms and possibly, because I don't know what's wrong, how possibly is going to be ready. I mean, the jotters and the pens, you're going to get that as well. And lastly, some school has a projector, some don't have. All government school don't have, even though they have, they don't have, because I don't want us to go there that day and they are looking for where the projector is, or it's very dusty and they cannot even work on it. But most of the private school have projector. So when you get your contact person, you call them, you ask them, okay, they should try the projector, is it working, all those stuff, what of power supply. Just ask them as many questions that will make you ready, right? That will make like your work easy, so that you don't get there that day and you start running head scatter trying to get things together. If okay, our power supply is bad, we need to fuel our gen and the school cannot handle it, please let us know, right? We want to give the student best experience. There's an image I created in the with Flo as he was teaching, and I shared it in the group. That's the scenario I want to see when we are sending our videos. Like the slide is showing, and we are doing the practicals, and you're showing it to the student. You can also show it with the slide. Like, I want it to be as professional as possible, right? So that it will be something worthy of like display. Even when we prepare our impact reports and we're sending it to whosoever we are sending it to, your faces are there, and it shouldn't be a very, very rowdy, like unnecessary, like the environment is not organized. I'm not saying the beauty of the environment, but I'm saying like organized, and the students are like paying attention to what you're saying and everything. So yeah, that being said, does anyone have question as regard organization, like not training now, as regard every other thing that has been going on outside the training? Hmm? Someone's hand is up. Please, is that has been up since so I had to bring it down at some point. Do you have any question? Oh, oh God, let me not murder someone's name. I'm saving myself. Okay, I believe nobody has any question. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Do have a good night rest. Sorry for the extra 3 minutes of your time that was taken. See you tomorrow again for a more interactive and the last aspect of the training, which will be on the career aspect. And bye bye for now. Bye, guys. Let me